Yes, good evening, Kalpesh bhai. Am I audible?
Hello. Yes, good evening. Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening, yeah.
Thank you for joining.
Uh,
We are just setting up.
so can we just check my audio, I mean the YouTubes, so that we get a flawless session? Can you share me the rights for timing so
Yes,
that I can just check?
Adisha, please make me co-host. One second.
So congratulations for the second program, Kalpesh bhai.
Yeah,
You,
thank you.
Dr. Hardik, all of you, and of course from the friends from Kolkata Law College as well.
Yes,
I have attended all the sessions, so I hope I give something new and additional value to the class.
yes, yes.
Can I share? I can. Okay, so
Yes, yes.
Welcome,
yes, Dr.
welcome for
Hardik,
the session.
good evening. Yeah, thanks.
You are able to, I think you will be able to share the screen. Please
You
check.
are
I have
presented
been
now. Yes, yes.
presenter and co-host also.
Yes, I'm just checking. Give me one more minute.
કલ્પેશ સર બીજા કોણે co-host બનાવવાના છે? You tell me please.
Rachit is here.
કલ્પેશ સર
Uh,
બીજા કોણે co-host બનાવવાના છે?
Yes, sir.
Rachit.
રચિત.
Yes, sir.
Just 1 minute. I'm so sorry.
ઓલ્સો કલ્પેશભાઈ એકવાર ચેક હું ઓડિયો પ્લે કરું તમે સહેજ જોશો તમને સ્ક્રીન શેર
Yes,
થયું
yes,
છે
yes,
કે
please.
So I shared a
Visible.
YouTube and I'll just play. So is it audible also?
गुनाह हो गया कमाल है
Yes, yes.
अब आदमी करे तो
Audible, right? Oh, okay, thanks.
I think we can start.
So,
Dr. Krishna, shall we start? Yeah, Rachit, over to you.
Yes, I'm fine to start. Good evening,
Yeah.
everyone.
okay.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Yeah.
Good evening to all. My name is Ratish Sharma, and I'm currently working as an assistant professor at IIM University, and I will be serving as the moderator for this session. I welcome you all to the fifth day of second capacity building program on the POSH Act, jointly organized by Surendranath Law College, Kolkata, and Pro Bono India with the support of from the GNLU Legal Services Committee. Without further delay, it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Krishna Bipin Mehta to deliver session on significance of POSH Act and other related legal frameworks. Ma'am is a certified POSH trainer and legal academic with over a decade of experience in litigation and teaching. She is currently an adjunct professor at Ahmedabad University and Adani University and works closely with the institutions like GNLU and Nirma University. Ma'am is empaneled with the Gender Resource Center to train staffs of the Gujarat High Court on POSH law and serves as an external member on several POSH committees. We are delighted to have you with us, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank, thank you, Rachit. Thank you, Professor Rachit. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Thank you, GNLU. Thank you, Pro Bono India. Thank you, Srinath Law College, Kolkata, Kalpesh Bhai, Dr. Hardik, for inviting me. I will be happy to interact with the participants, and we can stay connected on LinkedIn or through email. Okay, so the law is, very precise, very powerful law. And so since day one, as I'm attending, I was part of the, all the sessions, I know that most of the things are covered. The purpose of this session, in fact, for my session, I'm going to talk from the practical aspects. One, to answer some of the unanswered questions because of paucity of time, the speakers could not address your questions. So we'll start the session with that. And three, I want the interaction. So I have a fact sheet, we'll show some videos. So overall, to give you the insight in terms of practical theory and practical both. Few disclaimers. One, that law is definitely a women-centric law. But then men or other gender in the group should not feel offended because this is a gender specific law. Okay, but then there is a difference between this law and the Domestic Violence Act. Domestic Violence Act does not punish wives who file false complaint against the husbands or the living partners. But when we talk of this law, the false complainants do get punishments, and the courts have given the punishment. Second, whatever worksheets I'm sharing, they are randomly chosen. The names, they are curated by me, so no resemblance in any existing person. Whatever learning resources I'm using during this academic session is only for the educational purpose, and any use of sexual tone just to explain the nuances of the law should be pardoned because there are some videos which have some little sexual tone, notes. And as I said, more you interact, more you will enjoy. Okay, so yesterday, the question, I hope my screen is visible with the slides. I'll just plan the slides this way. Okay. Rachit, if you can do a thumbs up when I say, is it visible? So I think I will be good. Or even if the participants can do the same.
No, ma'am. I'll do, and the participants
Okay.
also. Yes.
Yeah, thanks. I will keep an eye on the chat box also during the session. So can feel free to put your questions there. Okay, so one of the participants, I don't recollect the name, but one of the participants asked this question yesterday that what if a male senior conducts a sexual awareness program in good faith, but female finds it, offensive, and can she file, or if she files a false complaint, what will happen? I think it was not addressed due to paucity of time. One, say for example, it will depend on the facts and circumstances. If it is a doctor who is, who is a gynecologist and who is trying to, educate the interns or the some of the say a group of people to create an awareness about sex education, etc., it is in good faith. But then also they will have to keep certain, professionalism while showing or while, addressing the audience. If during that part also, if something is of sexual tone, which can harm someone, then that lady or that women can address that issue first to the person, to the senior. If it is not possible, then to through IC. But then just because I'm a conservative mindset women, can I go and file POSH? Answer is no. This happened one of the situation where one of the very senior surgeon used to and whatever I'm saying, because I'm part of some committees also and have handled these cases. I'll not name them because of the confidentiality clause, but just to give you an explanation, I will give you certain, real examples. So there was this one surgeon, a very senior surgeon, who used to have a habit to hold the hand from the wrist of the female interns in the surgery room during the surgery, during those, small moments of surgery where he's not doing the surgery. One of the female interns addressed this issue to the HOD, and she said that, Madam, he's a senior surgeon. I want to learn the surgery from him. But then I'm not feeling comfortable when he holds the hand. I don't know the intention, but the impact is huge on me. The HOD said, beta kya baat kar rahe ho? You are, he's a very senior surgeon. He cannot do anything like this. And he has handled so many women interns in past also. The girl said simply that I am feeling uncomfortable. Can you please communicate this? Because I don't want to go under POSH. And HOD called the surgeon. The surgeon was very casual. He said, उसमें क्या है, पकड़ रहे थे हाथ, अब नहीं पकड़ेंगे. So that was one. So depending on the situation, facts and circumstances, the female can address this issue. But just because I am a conservative mindset, I will not be able to file POSH. The second question, can men file POSH complaints under POSH? Over and over a period of time, all the speakers previously also mentioned, law also says the definition of aggrieved women restricts only women, or the people who identify them as a women will be able to file the complaint. Male members can address this issue, but the internal committee, to best of my knowledge, is not having the power to handle these. Where can men go? Within the company or within the organization, there is either a grievance redressal mechanism. There can be a disciplinary, proceedings which can be there. There can be an HR code of conduct. Men or the other gender, sexual orientation people can address that issue in those forums, not under POSH as per the law. Essentials of a POSH policy, I will show you GNLU POSH policy, I will show you Surinath Kolkata Law College policy, and one more company's policy during the session. Okay, is there any further question at this particular point? If you can write in the chat box or ask, or I proceed further with my presentation. Is my pace okay? I tend to speak fast, so are we good so far? Yes, thanks. Okay. Over a period of time, under Constitution of India, gender discrimination and protection against gender discrimination falls under Article 14, right to equality, Article 15, no state cannot discriminate, state shall not discriminate. But then under Article 15, it is mentioned that state can make specific laws. And that is why our dignity matters the most to us first. You bring n number of laws over a period of time. If the mindset of the people is not going to change, if society is failing, then only law has to interfere. So this law also emerged from 1997 Vishakha to 2013. We got a codified law just because society failed to protect the rights of working women. Okay, I am aware that there are false complaints. There are men who are getting sexually abused, but we are at the moment talking about more for the aggrieved face these sexual tones. So don't allow yourself, don't allow anyone to harm you or your well-being. whosoever orientation we are. Okay, now reasons for the sexual harassment: ego, power dynamics, womanizer mindset. At times, to treat women as property can be one of the major reasons that she's my colleague, she's my, subordinate, I can do anything as a boss. Or just for fun to, to see or to poke the women. Sexual harassment do take place at, at various places, or to show, to take a revenge against that women. Many a times, the perpetrator says that to dekh le ab, I will do something to you. I'll ensure that you are not comfortable in the workspace. But the effects of these sexual harassment on the aggrieved party, especially women, the dignity is lost, the productivity is lost, the scars on the body if there is a physical abuse, the women or the aggrieved party goes into trauma, the trust is lost, trust between the colleagues is lost. She constantly remains under fear, and that is the reason we had to bring this law in under the title called as the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, which takes care of three things. One, the prevention, that internal committee will have to create constantly, conduct the training seminars, etc. Prohibition, to take care that no such incident takes place in the premise or the workplace or the extended workplace. And the internal committee also has a very important role to to redress. The redressal mechanism is also a very important part, the main core part of the act. These are few instances of sexual harassment touching the body. I'll not go in detail about the types of sexual harassment, but tell me whether this is sexual harassment or not. The fact sheet which you can see on your screen. Is this a sexual harassment? You can either write, if the rights are given to speak, then you can speak also. Yes. Is this a sexual harassment? Neerja ji is saying no. Many of you you have started responding. No. Why? Is this a harassment? Answer is also no. Okay. Why no? Because it is a part of the job, as what Shreya ji mentioned. I don't want to work till late night is one aspect, and I'm being harassed at late nights, forced to stay at late night is a different issue. Right. So, okay. Now, so most of you are saying, Priyanshu ji is saying that because of the nature of job, or she wants to escape, as what Dr. Deepa is saying, etc. Preeti ji is saying that if she's not agreeing, then she can leave the job. Exactly. This is not a sexual harassment because the work demands. She can communicate that, she has some work, home duties to take care, or all of us keep on doing, we communicate our conveniences. In rarest of the rare situations, we don't stay back till late. But here, just because she's finding it stressful and she just wants to take it, like just to bother कि boss को कि मुझे late तक नहीं रुकना है, इसलिए मैं sexual harassment करूँ. Not a sexual harassment. Okay. Is this a sexual harassment? What regarding Suchi? Meanwhile, I'll read the chat. Saniji is saying she could have refused to work at late night. Jaslin is saying she had all rights to complain if any harassment is done, but choosing to work is her own decision. So situation and facts shall decide. Thank you, Jaslin ji, for answering. Thank you, all of you. You are very much active. Is this a sexual harassment? Suchi, is this a sexual harassment? Answer is yes. Again, the company or the organization or the law firm here in this case can specifically mention that there is a dress code which you will have to wear in the court. When we say law, we talk of the coat and the white attire. If it's a doctor, then a doctor zone. But just because to attract more clients, to wear certain attire that makes her more attractive, is this a sexual harassment? Answer is yes. Answer is yes. Here it is not depending on the perspectives that I am okay to wear, clothes which are attractive. So to me, it cannot be a sexual harassment. To others, it can be. Here, the organization cannot ask any employee to show cleavage or to look more attractive and so wear these kind of thing. Then it is a sexual harassment. Okay. Okay, so now we watch a video. Most of you might have seen some on other portals as well, but I have a purpose to share. So just let me know whether the audio is visible or not, audible or not. Audible, visible?
आपके सामने बस बताइए, आप बताइए, चलिए रखिए, मैंने कुछ किया?
मैं तो अपना जा रही थी चुपचाप, उन्होंने ही बात शुरू की।
बात करना भी गुनाह हो गया, कमाल है। अब आदमी करे तो करे क्या?
हुआ क्या, ठीक से बता। लंच टाइम हुआ तो मैं टिफिन लेकर आ रही थी, संतोष जी सामने से चलकर आए और मेरा रास्ता रोक लिया।
अब रास्ता थोड़ी बदल लेंगे क्योंकि सामने से लेडीज आ रही है। एक ही दफ्तर में काम करते हैं भाई, ये तो होगा। मैंने देखा उसके हाथ में खाने का डब्बा है तो मैंने पूछ लिया, आइए आज साथ में लंच करते हैं, बस इतना सा तो बोला।
कुछ बोला क्या? पहले बोला कि
ये रंग काफी जच रहा है आप पे।
फिर बोला
आइए साथ में लंच करते हैं।
मुझे कंफर्टेबल नहीं लग रहा था, पर मैंने उन्हें आराम से मना किया। मैं मनीषा के साथ लंच करती हूँ। शायद उनको बुरा लग गया।
अब बुरा तो लगता ही है ना, ऐसा भी क्या है, उससे 3 साल पहले से हूँ इस दफ्तर में। रिस्पेक्ट भी कोई चीज होती है यार।
रिस्पेक्ट अपनी जगह है, मैं समय पे अपना काम खत्म करती हूँ। सुबह टाइम पर आती हूँ, 1 आध घंटा एक्स्ट्रा भी रुकी हूँ मैं कई बार, और मैंने कुछ गलत थोड़ी कहा। जाने लगी तो
आपसे कहीं ज्यादा अच्छी दिखने वाली लड़कियां काम कर चुकी हैं इस ऑफिस में, तो ज्यादा दिमाग मत लगाइएगा।
ये किस तरह की बात है?
बात क्या है ना, ये सर पे चढ़ जाती हैं। अब लेडीज समझ के हम इनको डांटते फटकारते नहीं हैं, तो इनको लगता है ये ज्यादा टॉप में। और ऐसा कुछ तो बोला भी नहीं मैंने, मुझे लगा डर गई शायद, तो मैंने हंसकर समझाने की कोशिश की। अरे स्मिता जी और मैडम लोग भी हैं इस ऑफिस में, हम लोग कई बार साथ में बैठ के लंच करते हैं, तो इतना सोचिएगा मत इस बारे में। इतना सा बोला तो मुंह बना लिया, घूर के निकल गई वहां से। मजाक नहीं करता।
मजाक के नाम पे कुछ भी बोलेंगे क्या? मैं अभी उनसे बात करती हूँ।
अब स्मिता, वैसे इससे पहले कभी संतोष जी के बारे में ऐसा कुछ सुना तो नहीं है। हो सकता है तुझे ही गलत लग रहा हो। मेरा मतलब सोच ले एक बार।
सब ठीक है ना?
क्या सोच रही हो? जो हुआ वो गलत था या नहीं? गलती से था या नहीं? या हुआ भी या नहीं? सच तुम जानती हो, सोचो मत।
स्मिता जी सब ठीक है ना?
ठीक तो नहीं है, लेकिन हो जाएगा।
Yes, I'm reading the chat messages. How many of you feel that this cannot be called as a sexual harassment? Let us take those reflections first. I'm not playing with my PPT. I'm just because it's a PDF, so I'm just trying to adjust the screen. Yes. How many of you feel that it is not a sexual harassment? Is there any participant who says that just asking for lunch, he was, and there are so many, employees who are taking lunch together. After this video, I don't want that you people stop. I mean, nobody should stop taking lunch together. The purpose is the impact, as many of you are mentioning here. आपसे भी सुंदर दिखने वाली लड़कियां इस ऑफिस में काम कर चुकी है. Will POSH be applicable? Answer is yes. Okay, now what Shreya ji is mentioning, that one instance cannot decide. It's too early to judge. Thank you for sharing. I will try to, because the messages are coming so fast. I'm just trying to read and cope up with that speed. It depends, and that's the reason the video title is Nazariya. So the purpose of internal committee, I'm straight away jumping on the procedure part of handling the complaints, because the definitions and all of those parts are being discussed from day one. If you are an if you are an internal committee member, and if you have to refer to these kind of cases, we will have to look from both the perspectives, and that's the reason all cases are different from each other. Okay, now here, why for asking lunch, no sexual harassment. Asking for just because he is the boss, the lady is saying no, that मैं मनीषा के साथ lunch करती हूँ, which is a normal gesture. 3 साल से मैं इस दफ्तर में काम कर रहा हूँ और लड़कियां भी मेरे साथ lunch कर चुकी है, is no way making the person comfortable, and that is the reason. Can this go under POSH? Answer is yes. Can this one instance be considered as a POSH? It depends on the gravity of the language or the words the person might have used. Shreya ji, so yes, okay, now one instance, कितने instances होने चाहिए तो हम POSH में जा सकते हैं? There is no limit. Even one instance which is making me uncomfortable as a woman can go under POSH. Right, but what happens in general cases, most of the aggrieved women, we are talking from the women perspective, then that's the reason I'm using the word women. Most of the women feels that अरे इनका intention तो कुछ और ही होगा, ये तो हो नहीं सकता, ये तो बहुत अच्छे हैं. My boss can never have any bad intention on us. Okay, say if I'm a student in a university, I always respect my professors. So if the professor has a habit to touch the, many of the professors sometimes do the what we call it as speed thipthivana ki bahut acha kaam kiya. Now in that gesture also somebody may feel uncomfortable. So then you have to raise the voice. Okay, so is this a sexual harassment? Answer is yes, because you can, even if you twist the tail, both of them were telling both the different, both of them were telling their own perspectives to their own people, and the men says क्या मजाक भी नहीं कर सकते, but then mazak can lead someone into trauma. And that is the reason this I always show that it is all about perspective. Are we good so far? It is a clear case of Anuji saying it is sexual harassment without any doubt. Had you only asked for lunch, exactly as I said, that only for lunch, no sexual harassment. Only for lunch and saying no, if the woman is saying no, no sexual harassment. But then the way he's speaking, he's stopping the the road. Okay. Vinita ji is saying, does the gossip about a woman's character, if she hears about and comes to know the source, this makes her uncomfortable? Does it amount to sexual harassment? Answer is yes. I will tell you why. Okay. The color remarks, आपसे भी सुंदर दिखने वाली लड़कियां. Okay. Now, when we see the definition of sexual harassment, the sexual harassment definition says that unwelcome behavior. Okay, and on one side, the woman is giving a consent to the sexual favors. I'm straight away giving you the fact sheet. There is a women employee who is giving yes to the sexual favors. And then later on, the sexual favors are being fulfilled, and women was promised the promotion, women was promised the increment, and so she fulfilled those desires. And then the promotion is not being given. Can she sit under POSH? Can she sit under POSH? Okay, everybody's saying no. I want someone to say yes. Can that consent, can this be considered as a sexual harassment? Can she sit under POSH? If yes, why? If no, why? Anuji saying guy may fall prey to this. Okay. Nisha ji saying she herself indulged and gave the consent. Okay, so to clarify, what do we understand with the word consent? Many of you are saying she gave the consent, okay? And so no sexual harassment. Namrata ji is saying yes because it's a false promise. Let us see this video and then we come to the definition again, okay? I have some videos. It might be repetitive to you if at all you have seen, but let us see the another video and then we discuss consent. Audible, right? Visible, audible?
Yes, ma'am.
लैब काफ़ी बिजी रहता है तो काफ़ी पेशेंट्स आते जाते रहते हैं। हम लोगों को इतना टाइम ही नहीं मिलता कि बात कर सके या थोड़ा रिलैक्स कर लें, अलाउ भी नहीं करते हैं। तो हम लोग छत पे चले जाते हैं थोड़ा फ्रेश एयर के लिए। वहीं पे हम लोगों की बातें शुरू हो गई। वो मुझे काफ़ी फ़नी लगा। हर टाइम जोक्स मारता रहता था, सबका मजाक उड़ाता रहता था। अब हमारा काम थोड़ा सा बोरिंग हो जाता है तो हंसी मजाक अच्छा लगा थोड़ा सा। मतलब मैं लैब में कहीं पे भी होती थी तो वही आके मुझे ढूंढ लेता था। काम के बाद भी हमारी मैसेजेस पे बातें होनी शुरू हो गई, फिर आदत सी पड़ गई। वो मुझे 11 बजे के टाइम पे मैसेज करता था और फिर हम 1-2 बजे तक चैट करते रहते थे। कई बार ऐसा होता था कि हम पूरी रात बात करते रहे और 1-2 बारी तो मैं फ़ोन पे ही सो गई बात करते हुए।
क्या आपको लगने लगा दैट ही लाइक्स यू?
शायद मतलब फेसबुक पे जब भी मैं कुछ पोस्ट करती थी तो सबके सामने सबसे पहले वही कमेंट करता था, लाइक करता था, तो थोड़ा सा ऑब्वियस हो गया था। और फिर बाद में मैं जब छूटते ही उसके मैसेजेस का जवाब नहीं देती थी तो फिर वो इरिटेट हो जाता था। पिछले महीने मेरे कुछ कॉलीग्स ने पूछा कि तूने हमें अपने बॉयफ्रेंड के बारे में नहीं बताया। तो मैंने कहा भाई मुझे ही नहीं पता कि मेरा बॉयफ्रेंड कौन है तो मैं कैसे बताऊं। तब मुझे पता चला कि इसने कुछ लोगों को बोल दिया है कि हम दोनों साथ में हैं और अपना फेसबुक स्टेटस भी चेंज कर दिया है इन अ रिलेशनशिप।
फिर क्या किया आपने?
मैं सीधा उसके पास चली गई। मेरा दिमाग इतना घूम गया था कि मुझसे वेट ही नहीं हुआ और उसको ये समझ ही नहीं आ रहा था कि मुझे इतना गुस्सा क्यों आ रहा है। मुझसे कहता कि तू मुझे इतने मैसेजेस करती है, मेरे साथ इतना टाइम स्पेंड करती है, सारा टाइम बातें करने में, मेरे जोक्स पे हंसती है। भाई वो सब तो व्हाट्सएप था ना। तूने ऐसे कैसे सोच लिया कि मैं तेरी गर्लफ्रेंड हूँ? मैंने अपने दिमाग से कैसे सोच लिया? मैंने कभी तुझे बोला कि आई लव यू, आई वॉन्ट टू बी विथ यू?
क्या आपको लगता है क्योंकि आप उनसे रात को देर बात करते थे और पर्सनल बातें शेयर करते थे, उनको लगने लगा कि आप दोनों के बीच में कुछ है?
हाँ शायद। मतलब कुछ बातें कही थी मैंने उससे चैट पे रात को, हो जाता है। लेकिन सब कुछ अपने दिमाग में पका के बैठने से पहले और पब्लिकली सबको बताने से पहले एक बार उसको मुझसे पूछ लेना चाहिए था ना कि मैं क्या सोचती हूँ। और वैसे भी मैंने उससे ऐसे कोई पर्सनल इतनी भी ज़्यादा बातें नहीं शेयर करी थी।
consent, friendship in workplaces very much allowed, but intimacy do require consent. Okay, now here it is again two-sided coins. One, the female also very friendly to the male colleague, as what she's narrating. The male member assumed that just because she's talking very freely with me, just because she is very much, okay to talk at late, I am okay to have to declare on Facebook that I'm in a relationship with this girl. Okay, and that is the reason, as many of you are mentioning, that consent from the person versus unwelcomeness, these are two different aspects of it. I will answer to my question, the original question, that when I said that fulfilling the desire, sexual favors, and then not getting promotion, can she sit under POSH? I remember my original question, but connecting the dot from this video of unboxing consent, silence is not a consent. In sexual harassment cases, if an aggrieved woman is not opposing that action, okay, if there is a case also tomorrow, Dr. Hardik is going to take care of the cases, so I'm not indulging in those case laws precisely. But in one of the case, the respondent, the male member, said that the moment I was having a sexual action on that girl or the woman or the colleague, she never resisted that, and that means she also enjoyed the sexual action, and so it is not a sexual harassment. Internal committee said it is not a sexual harassment because it was part and parcel of her. She never opposed, but the court said that silence is not a consent. Silence cannot be considered as a consent because she might not have spoken because he was the boss, or she constantly remained under fear that if I resist or if I'll oppose, my job will be under threat or I will be leaving the job. And that is why there is always a very thin line between consent and the unwelcomeness. And the false cases happens this way: when the women takes a U-turn, the false complainant takes a U-turn and say that this is now unwelcome, जो पहले उन्होंने कंसेंट दी हो रेगुलर सिचुएशन में, सेक्सुअल इंटीमेसी केसेस में, सेक्सुअल इंटीमेट कंसेंशुअल रिलेशनशिप्स में, बट कुछ चीजें वर्कआउट नहीं हुई, इसीलिए वो यू टर्न लेके बोल रहे हैं कि अनवेलकमनेस है, तो इंटरनल कमेटी को वो देखना पड़ेगा. I hope I'm reaching. I hope I'm so far reaching. I have taken a different route to explain you the nuances of the law, but these are the real cases in terms of the gray areas which the internal committee has to face. Whether there was a consent, whether there was an unwelcomeness. Okay, and many of you are saying that because are we supposed to stop talking to males? Answer is no, because work colleagues, there can be multiple teams working together. But who is going to keep that boundary? The women will have, first the women, and then women will have to clearly say that, sorry, boss, I'm not interested. Or the sexual harassment definition itself says that unwelcome behavior of demanding sexual favors is itself sexual harassment. So at workplace, no one can demand any sexual favors for any of the reason. Even if a woman has said yes, that can be, as I said, either the detrimental effect of the boss might have given the threat for the employment, or the boss might have given the implicit preferential treatment, saying मैं तुम्हें boss बना दूंगा, मैं तुम्हें lead करने दूंगा project, मैं तुम्हें increment दूंगा. And because of them, if the woman has given a consent, there are multiple cases where court has said that the law takes care of the women. Consent कैसे दिया? Difficult to prove, as Anuji mentioned earlier also. Consent कैसे दिया? Where demanding sexual favors is itself wrong. Consent दिया इसलिए क्योंकि demand किया favors. Are we clear on this aspect? Are we good here, all of us? So silence is not a consent. Sexual, and that is the reason I wanted to show you this next slide, saying that sexual harassment means and includes unwelcome behavior, physical contacts and advances, demanding sexual favors, making sexually colored remarks. क्या सोचते हो women को क्या सुनना पड़ता है sexually colored remarks के बारे में? You are a sex object. Okay. आप बैठी है इसीलिए प्रिंटर आपसे अट्रैक्ट होके ज्यादा फास्ट प्रिंट आउट देता है. डू यू थिंक दिस इज अ सेक्सुअली कलर्ड रिमार्क? डू यू थिंक दिस इज अ सेक्सुअली कलर्ड रिमार्क? आंसर इज यस. आप बैठी है इसीलिए प्रिंटर अट्रैक्ट होके. And these are the real, I'm saying in a very diluted versions, many more difficult situations here. You are a sex object. Please your men in bed. Don't come here. This engineering is men's job. This and many more. So sexual tone comments and any other unwelcome physical, verbal, non-verbal conduct of sexual nature is absolutely sexual harassment. Someone mentioned in the chat box about, can a gossip, if she's being made comfortable, will it be considered as sexual harassment? Can she go and complain? Answer is yes, because the definition says both. One, either something in return is asked, that is the preferential treatment against the sexual favors, etc., or creating a hostile work environment. I'm not, as a male or a female, I'm not doing anything to that female. Okay. But then I'm creating something, I'm creating some gossip stories about the women's personal life, women's sex life. The colleague has shared with me some very, her say infertility problems or marriage issues. And just to take a revenge, I just tell to everybody and create a hostile environment so that she becomes very uncomfortable. Either she leaves the job, she quits the job, or she's not feeling comfortable. Then also it can be considered as a sexual harassment. Sexual harassment, this law takes care of impact of sexual harassment and rather than the intention. Okay. When we say this, impact of sexual harassment on the victim matters rather than only the intention. I will take the questions in a while, Mona ji and Tanzila ji. I'll just come to the. Many a times power dynamics, because of the dynamic equations, because of the boss being a totally patriarchal mindset, or boss being because the respondent can be any person, not necessarily only men. And that's the difference between POSH and other legislations, which we will see towards the end of the session. Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita talks only of men, that men, if men is committing sexual harassment. But here in this law, the definition of respondent says any person against whom the aggrieved woman has filed a POSH complaint, or complaint of sexual harassment, then it can be considered as sexual harassment. Kalpesh ji, can you share that fact sheet in the chat box? Meanwhile, I'll take the questions from the chat box.
Sure.
So, yes, Rachit or anybody. So what we'll do, I'm sharing a fact sheet. Let us see, let us apply the principles, the theory, what we have learned so far. And then let us discuss about the redressal mechanism. It will take 2 minutes because it's 1-page document. Please go through that, and then I will, I'm meanwhile reading. Will it be possible for us to share PDF, or they will be comfortable reading this? Either ways, I mean, you can decide. Mona ji is saying colored remarks are inappropriate comments that have a hidden or obvious sexual or insulting meaning. Yes, the sexual tone should be there. Yes, you might be using some machine to take care of your hair or your clothes. Is not a sexual tone. But if I go to a reception of a female colleague, and while greeting on stage, as a male boss, if I ask the female colleague saying honeymoon pe honeymoon and the stories, if he's asking in that 2-3 minutes, he's making the person uncomfortable. If the bonds are very, very close at the workspace and the female does not feel inappropriate, that's okay. But some female may get offended. Okay, and that is why the colored remarks, the sexually colored remarks, the gender sexually colored remarks will be considered as verbal sexual harassment. Mona ji. Tanzila ji is saying, ma'am, can you explain her creating hostile environment? Hostile environment is where the female is being constantly tortured or constantly in terms of not direct harassment, but by creating gossip. Okay, by talking about the sexual life of their female colleague. So say for example, as a group of people, some female has shared with me, and I'm constantly talking to everybody about her sex life. She might be going through a difficult zone. She might have shared it with me in a confidential situation, but now I want to take care, as I just want to take care revenge, and so I'm just communicating to everybody. Now everybody starts talking about that lady's sex life and creating gossip. That is called as hostile environment. Tanzila ji, I hope I'm reaching. Okay, so this fact sheet we will discuss in a while. There are some questions. If everybody is ready, then do a thumbs up so that we go to the next slide and discuss this. Nisha is saying, if two colleagues are in a consensual relationship at the workplace and other employees begin taunting them or spreading false rumors, such behavior will not come as sexual harassment, madam, because they are in a consensual relationship. Okay, it can be considered as a harassment. It can be considered as, the misconduct where somebody is trying to create memes of the so-called consensual people or the couple or something like that at workplace. It can come under misconduct. The HR can take care of that. But because of the relationship, if the female is being again harassed by some colleague, it depends. But just because they are in relationship and just because of their stories, it cannot qualify. Nisha ji, it will depend on what kind of behavior they are doing. I hope I'm reaching. Yes, Preeti ji, and that's the reason I have shared here. There can be same gender complaints, but there is a trick question here. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm just giving a few more seconds or minutes to read. Always remember there has to be 3 W's present in, while dealing with POSH. POSH will only be applicable if there are these 3 W's. 1, women, workplace, and working relation. Okay, aggrieved women definition, you know that everything is, women is like any women, any age group. That definition has been taken care of previous speakers. I'm not going in detail. Workplace definition also being taken care of. Any workplace which is keeping women and perpetrator in the working relation. Okay, so working relation also matters the most. If there is no working relation, then POSH will not be applicable. Then any other complaint can be filed, but not under POSH. Okay, we will watch this at a later point. Now, can Vasu file, first question, can Vasu file a complaint on behalf of Unnati? Answer is no. Answer is no. Why? Because the aggrieved women will have to come forward to file a return complaint. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm switching off my chat box so that I focus on the fact sheet. We'll take care of the chat messages at a later point. The sexual harassment, this is a timeline which again I'll not go in detail, but I'll go to the nuances of the complaint. Complaint has to be in writing. Can Mr. Vasu file the complaint on behalf of Unnati? Answer is no in the fact sheet. Why? Because Unnati has to come forward. Okay. Unnati is not coming forward because she is scared, and that is why she will have to come forward. But there are two situations here. If Unnati might have physically abused to a level where she's not physically able to come, physical in the sense she is absolutely bedridden, then under the POSH rules, any colleague can file a complaint. One, if she is mentally disabled, again as per the POSH rules, the counselor also can file a POSH complaint to the internal committee. If the person is dead because of the sexual harassment at workplace, then the legal representatives can also file the complaint. But if the complainant is not coming forward just because she's scared, internal committee will not be able to proceed further. One, two. Other side, the respondent will have to be given the notice, the complaint, evidences, everything. Respondent will be given a chance to submit his submissions, her submissions. So here, Rachel will have to be informed. Okay, that's the second part. 3. Can Rachel be a respondent in this case? Answer is yes, because even though the same gender, answer is yes, because the respondent definition, as I said earlier also, that any person who is harassing or who is conducting sexual harassment, then it can be considered as POSH. Are we clear here with this little aspect? What can be Unnati's? Now let us talk how the internal committee is going to take care. Okay, as I said, that the essentials of a POSH complaint, the complaint has to be in writing. Oral complaint cannot be entertained. Anonymous complaints cannot be entertained. Anonymous complaints can be entertained by HR, just in a general note that there are some instances like this, but IC will not be able to conduct the inquiry if the complainant is anonymous, if the respondent is anonymous. I come forward, write a complaint, but I say that XYZ person, I don't mention any name. IC will not be able to take care of that. Okay. Complete details of the incident from both sides should come forward. The list of witnesses, the documentary evidences, the voice recordings, the screen recordings, the screenshots, the WhatsApp, the CCTV footage. The internal committee will be able to call for these evidences because they have the power of civil court. Okay, they are not judges, but they have the power of civil court. No false complaints should be made. As I explained, that if the victim is not coming forward, then with return consent or the co-worker or etc. can come forward. Can IC take suo motu action under POSH? Answer is no. Can the employer, as someone mentioned in the chat box, that can an employer take a suo motu action on his own? Answer is no. See, every organization will have certain rules and regulations. The service rules will be there, the organization code of conduct will be there, and that is a reason in those cases the anonymous complaints, those rules and regulations can follow. Police complaint can be filed separately. IC can assist the victim but then cannot force anyone to file a complaint. And so under POSH, suo motu action IC cannot take. What kind of evidences Unnati will bring forward in this fact sheet? If you can answer quickly, or I may share that Unnati may say that she was not aware of the lesbian status of Rachel. Unnati may say that the gift, intimate gifts, the messages, the touches which were little unwelcomed. But somewhere it is also mentioned in the fact sheet that she enjoyed also, and then she then realized that, oh, this is unwelcome. I'm giving a wrong signal to Rachel. What can be the evidences from the Rachel side? If you were the IC member, what can be the Rachel's evidences? Can anyone quickly mention? Can you think of that part? Mona ji, I answered your question. Can an employer take suo motu action? Answer is no. Acceptance of gifts, yes, Vinita ji. Thank you. Rachel may say that apparent consensual interactions, she gave consent. She accepted the gift. When she accepted the gift, I assume that she's also interested in me because Rachel had already announced her lesbian status, and she was very clear that everybody knows that I'm lesbian. I am interested in girls, and she assumed. Proving part comes at a later point. Okay, we are not talking of proving here. There can be ways and means to prove by the examination, cross examinations, but the intimate gifts, the acceptance of the gift, the touch, etc., that can be considered the Rachel's part. Very important nuances given under the POSH Act. The internal committee will have to. Am I audible? Hello. Are we good? Hello. Yeah. Time-bound treatment of complaints is very, very important responsibility of the internal committee. Maintaining confidentiality during inquiry is another important aspect because, as you might have, you need to read previous sessions where the speakers address the employees also are part of the internal committee. Okay, and that is a reason. If I, as a part of internal committee, as an employee, to everybody about the cases, then it will not, considered. I'm not doing a responsible job, and that is the reason internal committee members will have to maintain confidentiality. Time-bound treatment, meaning hereby, the moment the internal committee receives the complaint, they will have to call for the committee meeting. They will have to start. They will have to initiate the proceedings. They cannot wait till 6 months. In one of the case, the committee never handled the case. Victim constantly reminded to the internal committee members that there is a case, please resolve. But committee could not meet for 6 months, and then she went to the court, and court then penalized the organization, mandated that internal committee will have to do the time-bound treatment of complaints. The important role of internal committee is also to prepare an annual report. Okay, and annual report has to be sent to the district office before 31st January every year. And there are different compliances which I'm coming in a quick while. Inquiry report has to be in writing. Inquiry report has to mention all the contentions from both the parties or and the evidences which they are presenting before the committee. It has to be made in a very, very detailed way. The recommendations, first they will have to look into the service rules. If there are no service rules, because every organization is a dynamic, government organizations will have their own service rules, private companies will have their own rules, private companies may have adopted certain labor related rules. The IC will have to look into that. If there are no service rules, then IC can recommend the actions mentioned under the law. IC will also take care of the intent versus impact. And interim reliefs, as everybody has discussed earlier, so not going in detail, just showing the slide that aggrieved women can be transferred so that she does not come into direct contact. The respondent can be restrained from attending the workplace. The aggrieved women can be granted leave, to up to 3 months. This is the format of annual report, which the internal committee will have to submit to the local committee. They will, even if there is no complaint, they will have to file an annual report saying, disclosing that how many complaints they have received, how many complaints they have disposed of, how many cases are pending more than 90 days, are there any workshop, how many training workshops were conducted. And then if there are any complaints, then they will have to tell that what was the action taken, whether the warning was given, written apology, etc., etc. Right? And these are the I hope I'm reaching here with the specimen of an annual report. How they will have to file the report. Is there any role of court in POSH? Generally, court will not interfere if the IC committee is properly constituted. IC committee has, has followed all the proceedings. IC committee has taken care of the law part. IC committee has, given proper opportunity to be to both the parties or to all the parties to be heard properly. And then, if they have, given the recommendations to the employer, then court will not interfere. But courts have interfered over a period of time when someone has approached them when IC was not constituted properly. Many times IC is biased towards the respondent, saying that respondent नहीं किया होगा, उसको ही सीधा बाहर निकाल दिया क्योंकि आप मेल हो, आप ही ने किया ही होगा, आपका जोवियल नेचर है. If they have shown biasness towards the respondent, then that respondent can go to court and has gone to the court in multiple cases. The IC has not conducted the inquiry properly, then on the recommendation report, the report can be challenged either in the employment tribunals or depending on the IC of that particular organization. High courts and then Supreme Court also. So in multiple cases, tomorrow I'm not interfering in that topic because Hardik is going to talk in a very detailed way about cases. But even Supreme Court has given multiple judgments in these parts. IC has not chosen an external member, then also the court can be referred to, right? As you are aware, I'm going quickly because these are already discussed previously. These are the remedies available. Recommendations are to be sent to the employer. Employer will have to do the needful, have to take action. The word used is may, and may take the action. But then the court mandates that, through the court's order also, the employer will have to take care of that part. What if the false complaints filed by the women? The same remedies will, be given to the complainant, the false complainant, and 5 lakhs of rupees were awarded to one of the respondent who got retired, a male colleague who got retired, but he won the case because he could prove that this woman has filed a false complaint, and post retirement also the women had to pay 5 lakhs of rupees through the court's order. What happens when a female says no? Let's watch that and then answer the questions. I hope it is audible as well.
मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा प्रेशर आ रहा था अपनी फैमिली की तरफ से शादी करने के लिए, तो उसने मुझसे कहा कि मेरी बहन भी है शादी लायक, के देख मैं मिला उससे।
कितनी बार मिले उससे?
हम पिछले 2 महीने में कुछ 5-7 बार मिले होंगे। एक बार हम लंच के लिए गए, एक बार हम फिल्म देखने गए, और मुझे समझ में थोड़ा सा टाइम लग रहा था उसे क्योंकि वो अलग इंसान है। मैं एक बार हम प्लानिटोरियम भी गए थे।
तो आप बात आगे नहीं बढ़ाना चाहते थे?
नहीं, क्योंकि हम दोनों बहुत ही अलग तरीके के लोग हैं, बहुत डिफरेंट हैं। और ये बात मैंने तुरंत बताई उसके भाई को। बोला भाई मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा यार ये। वो बार बार इंसिस्ट किए जा रहा था कि बहन से एक और बार मिल ले, चीज़ें बेटर हो जाएंगी। और उनको लग रहा था कि उनकी फैमिली की इज्जत पे मैं किसी तरीके से दिक्कत कर रहा हूँ या उनके मान सम्मान को मैं ठेस पहुंचा रहा हूँ। मेरे को लगा हम कलीग्स हैं, इतने साल से साथ काम कर रहे हैं तो बैठ के बात हो पाएगी, पर उसने सडनली मुझे विलन बना दिया। ऑफिस में चिल्ला रहा है, चीख रहा है कि तेरा खाल चीर के इसके अंदर भूसा भर दूंगा, तेरे को ये कर दूंगा, वो कर दूंगा। और फिर तो प्रलय। वो ऑफिस से नीचे उतरा है, मेरा स्कूटर खड़ा हुआ था, उसने स्कूटर को लात मारी है, स्कूटर को गिराया है। ये कौन करता है भाई? घर के बाहर खड़ा होकर चिल्ला रहा है, कुछ कुछ कह रहा है, आस पड़ोसियों में मम्मी पापा की बेइज्जती कर रहा है। मम्मी अंदर से घर के चिल्ला रही है कि इससे बढ़िया हो तुम लड़की से शादी कर लेते। वो सब चिल्ला। मैंने पुलिस को फोन कर दिया। वो चाहता था कि उसकी बहन के बीच में मेरे बीच में कुछ हो, पर नहीं हो पाया। ठीक है, नहीं होता ऐसा कोई ज्वालामुखी थोड़ी ना फट गया है कि आप बाकियों की जिंदगी में भूकंप मचाओ।
क्या आपको लगता है कि उनकी नाराजगी इस बात से है कि आपने उनको सीरियसली नहीं लिया?
मैं क्यों नहीं लूंगा भाई सीरियसली, मेरी लाइफ की बात है ये, मेरी पूरी लाइफ की। और अगर मेरी लाइफ की बात है तो मेरे पास अधिकार होना चाहिए ना बोलने का।
Many a times this happens when the women faces they file a false complaint. Just wanted to share. Okay, now let me go back to my slide. I will take the questions which are mentioned. Give me some little time in terms of, let me finish some slides and then I'll come back to the point. This is a very interesting. Now, from here, I will talk the various, initiatives or various legal frameworks because that's also part of my topic. This is a very good initiative by Ministry of Women and Child Development, Government of India initiative that they have started the She Box, an online platform for women. I will show you the live portal as well. Just give me, I'm trying to manage screens. I hope it is not bothering you much. So this is, I hope my screen is visible, Rachit, the She Box complaint.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so this is the She Box complaint initiative, where now they are also mandating. Recently, a notification has come that all the organizations will have to register their, so here, if any women wants to file a complaint, they can register. The nodal officer or the workplace registration is so far it is not mandatory, but they are in the verge of making mandatory. Many of the organizations have registered so far. These are the data today morning I was just going through. Around 13,000 government office IC registered, some 10,000 private offices have been registered, and around 2,000 plus ICs, private companies ICs have been registered, and 755 internal committees have been registered. So this is a very interesting initiative by government where they directly is giving the online portal where women can file. Many times women are not aware of the internal committee. Yes, women can file even if ideally she should route through internal committee, but if the internal committee is not taking action, as I said, that if they're sitting on the complaint for many months and they're not taking any action, then she can directly file here. Mona ji, your which you have mentioned here. The UGC guidelines is this is also very much applicable to the higher educational institutions. UGC guidelines have been the regulations in 2015 applicable from 2016, where they have expanded the scope to the students. They have said all gender and it is not only restrained to female. And that is why in all the universities there is an internal complaints committee rather than internal committee, because there they are taking care of the complaints and they are taking care of complaints of every gender. In university, I see the male members can go and file the sexual harassment cases if it is happening within the premise. They have given a very comprehensive definition of sexual harassment. Definition of campus is being given in in a very detailed way, that what do we understand with the word campus. I will share all though everything is available on Google, but then we'll route these notifications through Kalpesh Bhai, so that you can whatever I'm discussing, I'll share those the actual copies. The composition of IC for higher education institutions is very interesting, where the students are also made part of it. Now, there can be two different aspects here in the university. One, university IC for the who is taking care of only the cases of employees, teaching, non-teaching staff, where students may not be part of that committee. But when the cases of students are there, then they can keep. So generally what happens is that IC is little broader, where say 7, 8, 7, 9, 11 members, generally preferable the odd number rather than the even number. And then the presiding officer will convene a committee, small little committee with them, and they handle the cases, because there can be a situation where the students get biased towards the professors situations should not go to the students, and that's the reason there can be two different aspects of university IC. Zero tolerance policy, gender sensitization initiatives. The government has also said that there has to be a women development cell, etc., etc. All of them have their independent existence, but when it comes under sexual harassment complaints, the POSH committee or the ICC will have to take care of that, even if it reaches to WDC, even if it reaches to the disciplinary committee, even if it reaches to the principal, they will have to forward those complaints to the to the this POSH committee, and then they can take care. Same way, the educational institutions are following the AICTE approve the technical institutions. Again, the same line, they have created these regulations for the AICTE approved technical institutions. The Minister of Corporate Affairs, this is now very interesting. Minister of Corporate Affairs, now many of the companies are not registering their IC before the district committee. Sorry, they're not sending the the annual report to the district committee. Many of the companies are not even having the internal committee even till date, and the good companies, okay, not even the small, medium, but the good companies, big companies. So to make it mandatory, Minister of Corporate Affairs, they notified that earlier it was only for the disclosures relating to the POSH Act, annual filings, या internal committee है कि नहीं, वो comply करने के लिए annual report, director's report में लिखना पड़ता था. Now recently, on 30th May, very recently, they have issued this notification that it will be mandatory for the companies to furnish certain disclosures related to POSH, like number of sexual harassment, number of complaints disposed of, whatever is mentioned in annual report, they will have to disclose to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, so to ensure that the companies are following the rules and regulations of the POSH compliance. This is very recent, thought to share it with you. Then, as I said that earlier, it was only for the director's report, just to confirm the compliance. But now it is necessary. It will be made applicable from July, but mandatory to file that. This is the future where the proposed amendment bill 2024 has been proposed. An extension of time limit for filing complaints will be from 3 months to 1 year, which is very complicated situation. 1 साल तक आप complaint file कर सकते हो, सामने वाले के पास 1 साल तक आप evidences नहीं रहेंगे उनको defend करने के लिए. Okay, these are still proposed, not yet passed, but this is the the recent future in terms of bill. A private member has proposed this bill. A removal of conciliation process, which is part before the inquiry starts. There is a procedure of conciliation. In 2024 bill, it is proposed that that conciliation procedure should be removed, and some of the nomenclatures will be replaced with local complaints committee and employment tribunals. Now, what will happen? This is all about POSH, but then there are other legal frameworks in India which is taking care of this. Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, which is, constitution emerges from constitutions. I'm not added those slides of Article 14, 15, but it definitely is there. But then the Indian Penal Code, which is now being replaced by Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, BNS, very specifically certain provisions are mentioned regarding sexual harassment. Okay, now there also it is mentioned unwelcome physical contact, sexual advances, etc. Voyeurism, if someone is recording, the women's private actions, either feeding baby, etc. It is not applicable to the workplace, but in a general way, penal code is mentioning, and this is the exact provision of section 75, which says a men committing. Okay, that means here anybody can file a police complaint also, mentioning section 75, but this is only related to men, no female is involved here. Okay, so that is one such situation. Again, you can see the penalty is little less, only 3 years, or with fine, or with both, and if anyone is making sexually colored remark, then the imprisonment can extend to 1 year. So section 75, I thought relevant here. Not even talking about workplace, it is only talking of sexual harassment. Whereas POSH is talking only for workplace harassment. There is another very interesting law, very less used, but we still have a law which says that Indecent Representation of Women Act 1986. And there it can be, here we can connect to workplace where media, porn revenge, or say some obscene portrayal of women colleagues is being portrayed, then they can be punished under this law as well. The penalty is little less in terms of 2 years, extend to 2,000 rupees, which is minimal. And if it's a subsequent conviction, then not less than 6 months. So this is another legal framework which can take care of women. Information Technology Act also takes care, not very specifically only at workplace, but anybody who is violating, knowingly, unknowingly violating privacy of women, sharing porn images, sharing non-consensual sharing of intimate images. Then section 66E, which is the bare provision I've shared here, the screenshot. Whoever intentionally or knowingly captures, publishes, or transmits the image of a private person, a private area of any person. So here it is gender neutral. Any person, his or her consent. Without his or her, then they can be sent to jail up to 3 years, 2 lakhs of rupees, or with both. Other Information Technology Act provisions, section 67A, transmitting material containing sexually explicit act in electronic form, and then transmitting or publishing obscene material in electronic form, breach of confidentiality, privacy through internet or through IT devices, or as an intermediary, if any web portal is there, then also under IT Act that person or the company can be booked. Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act 1946. Also not specifically saying, but they mentions about the sexual harassment as misconduct. With the new codified labor laws not yet implemented fully, but it is taking care of this also in that. But somewhere Industrial Employment Standing Orders also talks of this part. Yeah, so without now, I hope I am reaching you all. I wanted to show you the policy because someone yesterday mentioned, before I go to the chat message questions, this is the GNLU. So I think I recollect someone mentioned that what we should, what is an ideal POSH policy? Should organizations have POSH policy? Answer is yes. Mandatory to have POSH policy? Answer is no. But most of the policies are gender neutral policies. I'm just sharing you the GNLU policy. I have taken permission from Dr. Hardik to share this just to give you an idea. And then they have also shared the form kind where if anyone wants to file a complaint, either they can write an email also, but here also they have mentioned the annexure A saying that if anyone wants to file a complaint, then they can fill this form saying name of the agreed person against whom you are filing, qualification. I hope I can, my screen is reaching to you in terms of Google form, postal address, and the employer, date of incident, time, details of the incident, etc., etc. Right. So this is one such policy. Policy will generally have the details, the definition of sexual harassment, like as I said that this is the college, which is one of the knowledge partner here in this sessions. It is a very detailed policy they have mentioned on their website. So ideally, POSH policy should be available on the websites of the organizations. Many of the companies don't mention on the website. They feel that it is mandatory under the POSH Act that the names of the ICs should be displayed either through posters or through website. See here, this policy talks about the definition, the jurisdiction, the third party interventions. So even if there is no female in the company, But it is not only for the employee, it is also for the third party. So you will require that. Composition, who are the members of the anti-sexual harassment committee, what are the powers you can mention. You can mention about the procedure in a very detailed way. The procedure should be mentioned in the policy. And then the remedies, that what can be, the remedies available to the, and then the, the members of the ICC. These were the educational institutions, and yeah, so these are the policies which I wanted to showcase. Now the questions part. Let us go to the questions quickly. Kalpesh bhai, we have, Rachit, we have 7-8 minutes more. Can I take the questions from the chat box?
Yes, ma'am.
Most of them I have covered. Is it okay if I surpass you being a moderator and I only take the questions?
Yes,
I'm sorry, I have taken the questions side by side. Will that be okay, or you will moderate?
please, participant, you can raise your hand also. We'll unmute you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I have answered this. Can a woman file a complaint directly through SheBox? Answer is yes. UGC guideline or POSH, which one will prevail in case of university? UGC guidelines has to be are in sync with the POSH Act, madam, and that is the reason they cannot run away from the law also. Tanzila ji, I have taken a note. I'll come to you in a while. So the guidelines or the regulation or the policy of the organization will have to be in sync with the law. And so the UGC guidelines will follow, the actions will be taken care of under the, as per the UGC guidelines. If the university has not followed UGC guidelines and not followed POSH Act, then it can be a concern. But very less organizations will do that. They will have to follow. If university is not complying with UGC guidelines, then whom we should file complaint against the university? The university tribunals or to the Ministry of that the ministry also, and to the district office also. You can complain against that, but generally the university UGC is being informed that this is not following, the UGC guidelines. Nirja ji, I am answering this. If a woman files a false complaint with malicious intent, what safeguards exist for the respondent under POSH Act? As I mentioned, the section 14 very specifically says that punishment for false and malicious complaint and false evidence. So if a person is being proved that this is a false complaint, if the internal committee comes to know that this is a false complaint, then the IC can punish. And as I said, the remedies which are given to the victims, the perpetrator has been either terminated or terminated with compensation, etc. Same way, the false complainants will be done. That is what Monaji, I hope I'm reaching. If college not have ICC, then women can file complaint to university. Women can go to police station. Women can go anytime police station, but women will approach the university tribunal or the UGC that this college is not having the ICC, mandate that. College can be penalized also. Up to 50,000 rupees is the fine mentioned under the law, that any organization, if they are not following, if they are not constituting properly IC, etc., then it is. Yes, I hope I'm reaching, Aparna ji. Ma'am, if we greet someone senior with a gift, will come under sexual harassment. Somewhere, I think earlier also you have mentioned that if someone gives us the gift, if we voluntarily take the gift, colleagues do give gifts to each other to cherish their bonds. Nothing wrong. But if it is through gift, if they are demanding sexual favors, through gift they are demanding or showing any sexual gestures, if that gift, say for example, one of the colleague was mentioning to the female colleague saying, I am a very good massage giver. If you feel stressed, I can give you massage. I can come to your home and give massage. Okay, now even if the organization having free work culture, this is not acceptable. Okay, and so the boy says that I think you and Raghav. This is one of the audio visual which says that मुझे लगा तू राघव से इतना घुल मानव से इतना घुल मिल चुकी है तो मेरे साथ भी ऐसा तुझे तुझे क्या प्रॉब्लम है अगर मैं मसाज दूं तो दिस इज बीइंग सेड टू फ्रॉम मेल टू फीमेल and she says that I and you don't share the bond like I share it with Manav. There can be situations where there can be very good bonding between male and female friends. There can be family friends also, but not every female is comfortable with every male or vice versa. So, or padded bras makes women more sexier. This is a sexually colored remark. And females do get offended with all of these, right? So, yeah, madam, someone can gift somebody, everybody can gift anybody, okay? Not as a sexual favor or not as a sexual tone is what I'm clarifying. What is the timeline for the organizations to register on SheVox? So far, it is not mandatory, but now they will make it mandatory. There is a notification issue. So if the organizations are not there, if you are the head of the organization, I urge do that. Quickly, I'll also share. I think Kalpesh Bhai shared that in WhatsApp, but I'll also share that notification. If the member of IC is perpetrator, what can be done? Thank you so much to ask this question. I missed out that point. If IC member is the perpetrator, they will have to step down from the IC. The IC member will be replaced and the matter can be taken care of. So the law says that it will be taken care of. And if the complainant, okay, so I'm also sharing meanwhile the QR code for AHA moments. If you feel you learned anything new or you were not feeling happy about, you can mention. This is for my improvement. Meanwhile, I take few more questions. If the complainant, perpetrator, what can be done? If the complainant start maligning the respondent while case is with IC, any action is to be taken. Respond. This is other way also, Ajay sir. If the respondent is bothering the complainant, okay, then also the complainant can approach. Complainant under the threat of respondent withdraws the complaint, then also IC will have to take care of the complaint because that can be retaliation. So law also says no retaliation. The UGC guidelines also say that the respondent cannot harass the victim or the aggrieved party, and that is the reason the reporting manager will be changed. The if the reporting manager has committed the such action, or the reporting manager will be changed, they will not come one eye to eye. Those are the provisions mentioned under the law that organizations can. That these are interim reliefs. Okay. Thank you for your comments. The session was insightful and practical. I really like the question answer, which made it easy. Thank you, madam. Thank you, everybody, for appreciating. Practical examples helped us. Thank you. Thank you for these little mentions. I think I missed out one of the question. If anybody has any other question, perpetrator, I say, is there any question which I missed out? Service rules will be applicable. I mentioned that. Can employer take suo motu action? Answer is no. Okay, Ajay ji is saying we had a case where a male employee complained of sexual harassment by a group of men in the organization. Will the POSH be applicable? As I said earlier, POSH will not be applicable. He can approach POSH, but then POSH committee will not be able to take care of that complaint. They will either tell the HR to handle this. But with this note, I want to say that no one should accept any of the sexual harassment, irrespective of whichever gender. Okay, I think someone is not able to unmute. Rachit, do we have time to unmute the madam somewhere? Or we are running out of time?
Yes, sir. Nirja, over to you. Nirja and Neha, then we'll close the session.
Yeah, please, thanks.
Miss Nirja, can you
Yes,
unmute
Neha.
yourself? And Neha. Advocate Neha.
Yes, this will be last question because already we are running short of time.
Yes.
Yes, Neha, are you there?
But I'll take 2 more minutes to show the last video and then wind up. Yes,
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, yes, sir.
Neha ji.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
I
evening.
have I have a follow-up question, ma'am, regarding if the perpetrator is like IC itself, a member of IC itself. So in that case, like ma'am, you mentioned that they need to step down and all. But what shall be the procedure? To whom can a person approach if the perpetrator is IC, like member of IC, or for that matter, the presiding person of the IC?
Right. So the procedure will remain the same because the name, the respondent's name will be mentioned. So the IC, the presiding officer will convene a meeting and will mention that as the IC member is the perpetrator, they will make what we call it as minutes of the meeting or the resolution saying that the perpetrator is the IC member and so step down, and instead of that a new person has been replaced. It will be notified, everything will be documented, even the minutes of the meeting. They meet, they convene the committee, the new member is being replaced, the external member, or there can be a possibility the external member is being the perpetrator. So it has to be documented, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. And ma'am, if the presiding officer himself is the perpetrator, what can be done in such cases?
Presiding officer will always remain, will always be a senior women employee as per the law. There cannot be a male presiding officer. And so, if the presiding officer herself is the perpetrator, then again, the law says, to best of my knowledge, I'll still get back through the WhatsApp group. The local committee or the district committee will be informed. The employer will be informed. In that case, the HR can also be informed. And because the constitution of IC falls under the employer's, the organization framework. So a new presiding officer will be appointed. Madam.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for an enlightening session.
Right. Yes, Nirja ji.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
good evening.
actually, I am doing research on this topic only, POSH, implementation of POSH Act in the higher education institutions. So, while I'm researching this topic, I found that various universities have not submitted any annual report till now, and so government can't so much to take any action against these university, because we can't go to file a complaint against each and every universities. So various universities have not complying the UGC guideline, AICTE guideline, not the POSH mandate. So is there any role?
Right. So, cutting short your question because of paucity of time. As I said that so far the law said that it is mandatory to file the annual report, but there is no check and balance. Certain states it is compulsory to register the IC also. I think Maharashtra and few more. But now the government, Minister of Women and Child Government of India, in the ministry at the central level, the department at the state level are now scrutinizing and are making it mandatory. So soon in near future, all of them will have to register. So through your research, I think you can help the government and do it. Government cannot take suo motu. If it is mandatory to register and not registered, then the state governments are taking actions, but otherwise no.
Is a monitoring mechanism here for the implementation of POSH Act and UGC?
At the moment, the Ministry of Women and Child, but as I said, they are trying to compile the data. At the moment, they are not punishing to a larger extent, but UGC can be informed of the universities and they can take action.
Thank you so much.
Right. Okay. The last, and then we conclude. I am thankful to this whole journey of interactive session. Kab tak women will, face, and then we end this session. Just a recap of everything. Thank you.
क्या बकवास है ये क्या चिल्लाते रहते हैं एम्पावरमेंट काम ना करने के बहाने हैं ये.
That moment where we feel undignified, eyes scanning our curves, sensing the hand slide. When men boast about their masculinity with utmost pride, we appear perfectly calm outside. broken inside. It lies in the promise of rewards in lieu of sexual favors, as if we aren't human beings but some lollipop flavors. What might appear to you as just a remark, make no mistake, can leave a scar. When rumors and jokes become so intolerant and outrageously bizarre, when we try to raise a voice against your advancements, you blame us for smiling and indecency, trying to justify sexual harassment. We bleed, we bear, we feel, we fear, we love, we hate, we create, we tolerate. Till how many times should we ignore and forgive in the name of mere mistakes? How long can we say we are stronger? At what point should we say we can't take it any longer? We can't take it any longer.
Thank you so much. This is just a small little interactive session I thought to tell you. Thank you everyone, and yeah, thanks for inviting. I'm sorry for speaking some little sexual tone consent. We should stay connected, and I'm sorry for overshooting the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Am. Thank you so much. I don't think there are any more questions, and it is just the gratitude pouring in. So thank you so much, ma'am, for taking the time, and sharing your valuable insights. We truly appreciate the way you address the legal intricacies and the real-world challenges of POSH, especially with the help of videos, case studies, and the government notifications, etc. So that definitely was the highlight of the whole session. I would also like to thank Kalpesh sir for organizing the program on such an important aspect. And I would also like to thank all the participants for their attentive presence and engaging questions. And on behalf of the organizing team, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to you, ma'am, and hope to have the opportunity to welcome you again in future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm on the journey of sensitizing. I'm happy that everybody enjoyed. Thank you. Thank you. Good night and have a lovely weekend.
And then same thing, the second edition is going very, I would say far better than last year. So many, contents, personal experience. So
Yes.
fortunately, it is being,
Even as
rich.
a facilitator, I think I have evolved over this 1 year because of being an Excel member to multiple companies, being taking care of multiple trainings. So yeah, as a facilitator also we learn and we grow. Thank you everyone and have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.